All right, so make sure you change the equations of the first one. And can someone raise their hand and tell me how I would go about graphing this first equation? How would I go about graphing the first equation? Go for it.
You have to put the 2
On what?
on the y-axis.
Beautiful. Plot the b on the y-axis, which this one is 2. Then what?
Then you have to do your slope.
So you do your slope
You go up.
up 1.
To
Awesome. So you always go up and to the right, and I can extend it by going down and to the left. You keep going until you can't do any more of those points, and you draw a line that goes through it. Eve, you want to explain to me how to do the second one?
You would plot 5
Uh-huh.
on the y-axis. Then that x would become a 1. And then over 1, like negative 1x over 1.
Do I go up or down?
You go down,
Down 1.
then over 1.
Good. Always to the right, right? Down 1, over 1. Down 1, over 1. And you draw a line. So your solution is that point of intersection where they cross. So when I look at it, make sure it goes x comma y, and we could see our x is 2 and our y is 3. And so that would be our solution. Does that make sense? See if you can graph these next two now. So see if you could graph these next two on your own. And you can see that the solutions are going to be different. So, but I want you to at least remember how to graph each one. So you're graphing exactly the same way we just did. You're graphing on your two graphs. So this one right here, and then the next one. You have to change this first one. Yeah. Just the first one, because it wouldn't show up on the graph. So, how we did this, our y-intercept was 4, right? And then since it's negative, I go down 3 and always to the right 1. Remember, it's always over 1. Down 3 to the right 1. Down 3 to the right 1. And you draw a line through it. Same thing with the next one, but I actually start on negative 1. So I go down 3 over 1. I could also go up 3 over 1. It looks something like this. They're parallel. Good. These lines are parallel. They never touch, so there would be no solution. And do you guys see these two L's right there? Those two L's remind me they're parallel. They're never going to touch. They should look something like this. And we know parallel lines mean same slope. So this should be the same, but different y-intercepts. So these should be different. Same slope, different y-intercept. And so because they're never going to touch, it would be no. This next one, you can see they're literally the exact same line. Sometimes it's not going to look as obvious as that. Like one will be a standard, one will be a slope intercept form. But in this one, we start at positive 4, and then we go up 1 since it's positive, over 2. And then the opposite way. And we can see the second line is the exact same thing. So I'm going to be drawing right on that. If they're the same line, how many solutions is there? Well, there's one here, one here, one here, one here, one here. All of them are infinite solutions. And infinite solutions means they have the same slope and the same y-intercept. Same slope, same y-intercept. They're the same line. So we went over this in graphing, but I just want to make sure you guys got this. So infinite means every single one's the same. God bless you. The next three we are gonna be using substitution. And the reason is because each of them has a variable already solved by itself. Do you guys see that? Even if this one's x and that one's y, each of them have a variable solved by itself. What if they're both solved for the same variable? Who can raise their hand and tell me how would I solve that if they're both solved for the same variable? Jalen. in, but like, how would I set this up? They're both equal to the same thing. With y, right? So you put it in for this y. AKA, we would make them equal to each other because they're equal to the same thing. But substituting in for y is the same thing. So when we have two equations that are equal to the same letter, like y, we just make them equal to each other. Then we solve. So I would draw my river, right? And then Amir, how would I get 3x to the other side?
I mean, subtract.
It's already subtracting.
Oh, addition.
Add, right? So we're going to add 3x to both sides. And we end up getting positive 10 equals 5x plus 25. Then Cynthia, how do we get 25 to the other side over here? Perfect, minus or subtract. Because when we get it over the river, it's always the inverse. And so you end up getting 5x equals, what's 10 minus 25? Negative 15. Then to get x dot by itself, we divide 5 on both sides. And you end up getting x equals negative 30. So you know your x coordinate where these cross is going to be negative 30. To find your y, what do we have to do? Plug it in, plug it in, plug it in. So, yeah, does it matter which equation I use here? Does it matter if I use the red one or the blue one to plug it back in? Which one do you want to use? Sure. So instead of x for the red one, what am I going to plug in for x? Negative 3. So what is negative 3 times negative 3? Positive 9. What's 9 plus 10? 19. And so you know the point that they cross is negative 3. So this is back when we learned substitution. So make sure you guys are going to have time to do delta math, but I want to make sure you guys got this down. It's a lot less. But after I'm done, you're going to have time to do the delta math. So all of these where you're actually getting a point as your answer is one solution, right? This is the solution. Now over here, this substitution is different, right? First, I need to find which equation, Jarrell, has a variable by itself already solved. The top one or the bottom one? Looking at these two. Which one already has a variable solved or isolated? The top one, right? We already have x equals negative 2 plus y. So then when I plug it into my second one, instead of x, what are we going to put in? What does x equal? Negative 2 plus y. And then I rewrite the equation. So remember, substitution is one we have. It's we did it in word problems, but I want to make sure you guys get this. Then I distribute. So when I distribute, I do negative 2 times negative 2, which gets you what number? 4. And negative 2 times y is negative 2y plus 2y equals 2. Then I combine my terms. Fernando P., which two terms can I combine?
Negative 2y.
Good. What is negative 2y plus 2y? 0. So you end up getting 4 equals 2. That's it. Does 4 equal 2? No. So what's the solution? No, it doesn't equal it, so it's no solution. What do we also know when something's no solution? That Charlie said, what type of lines are that? We know that they're automatically going to be parallel lines. They're never going to be. So do you guys see, even though it doesn't look like it has the same slope, if you're put it in y-intercept or in slope-intercept form, they would have the same slope. Different y-intercepts. Now let's do this one right here. See if you could try it on your own. So I'll give you a few minutes to see if you could try that last one, that substitution one on your own, just like we did the previous one. So see if you could try that third one on your own. You guys are gonna have time to do that math, I promise. So I have you guys have answers. But I want you to try this one right here. So try the substitution. Yeah. See if you can do it on your own, because on your assessment you are gonna have to do substitution. You have to do each one of them. So first thing you should be doing, just to get you guys started, is looking at which equation has a variable already solved. And when we do that, we see the top one already has it solved. So now, instead of y, we know we're going to substitute y with 4x minus 11 when we go to that bottom one. So I'll write down what that looks like. What invisible number goes right here?
One.
That one, right? Then you distribute. So you end up getting 4x minus 4x plus 11 equals 11. Then are there any terms on that side that I can combine? Which ones? What's 4x minus 4x? 0, right? You end up just getting 11 equals 11. Does 11 equal 11?
Yes.
So what, now it's not no solution because that's when it didn't equal. When they do equal each other,
Infinite solution.
solution. And so one solution would be like if this was 3x, I ended up getting x equals 11, something like that. That's one solution. But when you just get two numbers that are equal to each other, it means infinite solutions. We also know they have the same slope, same y-intercept. If we were to put them both in slope-intercept form, it would look like that. All right, last one we're doing for today, before I give you time to practice, is elimination. And remember, we can tell when we're using elimination because both equations are in standard form. So this is the one where we play around with it and see how x and y are on the same side. That's how I know to use elimination. So first I'm going to see, okay, am I going to be playing with the x's or the y's to get them to be the same number, different sign? X, right? Because if I did y, I could do that, but it would be, I would have to multiply two equations. If you want to do that, that's fine. But the x's, you only have to multiply one. And so you know your bottom one's already negative 4x. What does the top one need to be? Positive, right? Opposites attract. And so to get that to be a 4x, what do I need to multiply that top equation by? 4. Go ahead and do that. And you should have gotten 4x plus 12y equals 28. Do I need to do anything to the bottom equation? No. Nope, so just rewrite it. Then to cancel this out, what do I have to do with the top and bottom equation? Add them, right? And so this cancels out. What's 12 plus negative 8? 4y. And this ends up being 8. How do you get y by itself? Divide. And you would get y equals 2. So you know that your y coordinate here would be 2. To get your x coordinate, what do we have to do? Plug it in. Does it matter which one I plug it into? No. I'm going to plug it into the original top one. So x plus 3y equals 7. But instead of y, I know y is 2. What is 3 times 2?
6.
6. So we end up getting x plus 6 equals 7. How do we get x by itself? Subtract 6. You get x equals 1. So your one solution that works here is 1, 2. Does that make sense? What could you always do with your answer choices too, or even the solution we found to make sure it works? Plug it in, right? And make sure you use that on the test. Most of your tests is multiple choice. Next one, does it matter which one we play with?
No.
The x's or the y's? No, because I only have to multiply one equation either way. I'm gonna multiply the bottom one. So I know, or not the bottom one, I'm gonna multiply the y. So I know if the top is 4y, what does the bottom one need to be? Negative 4y. What do I multiply 2 by to get to be negative 4? Negative 2. So if you have to change the sign, you know it's a negative, and 2 times 2 is 4. I don't need to do anything with the top one, so I'm just going to rewrite it. But the bottom one, I got to distribute the log, right? And so you end up getting negative 2x minus 4y equals negative 6. Then what do you do with those two equations? Add them. So what's 2 plus negative 2? 0, right? Crosses out. 4 plus negative 4? 0, crosses out. 7 plus negative 6? 1. Does 0 equal 1? No. So what do you think it is? No solution. And we know if it's no solution, what type of lines are they? Parallel lines. We also know they're the same slope, different ones. Try the last one on your own. See if you can try that one and figure out what the solution is. So on the last one, and then I'll give you time for delta math right after. Try the last one. So who can raise their hand and tell me what did you do to get these equations to be able to eliminate? What did you do in order to get these equations to eliminate? Which one, the top or the bottom? The bottom. So you play with this action matter. Because when you multiply by 2, the first one I just rewrite. And then right here I end up getting negative 8x plus 2y equals negative 8. How many people got that far? Then when you add them, what happens with the x's? Cross out. What happens with the y's? Cross out, which is 0. What's 8 plus negative 8? They cross out, which is 0. It does 0 equal 0? Yep, so it's going to be infinite. If you turn them to slope intercept form too, they should be the same equation. And y equals mx plus b. Does this make sense? Cool. So you can either practice on that worksheet that I gave you, or if you want to do your delta math, I can show you. This is the delta math homework. I'm fine with you doing that one. Or if you need to do other ones, you already did it and you're superstar. Awesome. But let me show you how to do this delta math. So start logging on to yours if you aren't already logged on. And so all the 4.1s are the ones that should be done or working on. So I'm going to go to 4.7. So it says determine the number of solutions. So you would have to figure out, okay, what would I multiply the top one in order for them to be able to cross out? 3, right? So this would be 3x plus 3y. What's 8 times 3? 24. They would all cross out in the end. So what would my answer be? Infinite solutions. Awesome. If you did, then I'll give you time to do the other ones. So here it's just 5 questions. That's your homework for tonight, but I'll give you time in class. But just so you can see, the homeworks, this is your last delta math. So all the ones that say 4 point something on it, they're kind of out of order. But those are all the ones that should be completed. So this is only 2 questions per one. These are the word problem ones. So you want to make sure you understand how to do them too. because all the open-ended on your test are word problems. So I'll give you the remainder of time. You do have your check for understanding at the end, but I'll give you time, start with 4.7, and I'll give you time to do the rest of them. Does anyone need me to go over any of these that maybe you didn't know how to do?
Wait, hold on.
Linear system work.
Linear, which one?
System work.
Like these, which one?